A question I sometimes encounter are people contacting me and asking what quit site I recommend for them to go to if they want to quit smoking. And that's a really difficult question to answer on a few fronts. First, I can't say there's going to be any one site that I would recommend because people sometimes contacting me are looking to quit by different methodologies. And if somebody wants to quit cold turkey, well, I would say, sure, you can go to YQuit has a Facebook site. Although there's a limitation because that's a public site. And being a public site, that means everything that people write there can be seen on their Facebook feeds. And sometimes people are, in a sense, closet quitters. They don't want people to know on their Facebook page that they're smokers or that they're quitting. So that's kind of a limitation there. I know that there's other Facebook sites that are private sites, but because they're private and because I really don't use Facebook, I've never seen what goes on in any of those sites. So I really can't even give a recommendation if I were to, say, well, look, this site will look good. I've never seen any of those sites. And I've also noticed that now with a lot of the other kind of board sites that you have to join to be able to see what goes on their sites. And I can honestly say that outside of one that I have been participating in for several years, and I sometimes help out at, but very rarely these days. I've never joined up any of these private sites, so I honestly do not know what happens in any of them. If I was going to say, okay, what type of site should you be looking for? Um, I'm almost leery of saying some of this because I think I'm going to offend some sites on what it is. But if I was a cold turkey quitter looking for a site to help me quit, I really would look for a site that mostly has, or not mostly, but exclusively set up for cold turkey quitters. I also believe that if a person is using a nicotine replacement product, and there is a site that is exclusively set up for people who use nicotine replacement products, and that's what they're supporting, I think people are going to be better off going to that site who are using those products. And if somebody is a Chantix quitter or somebody is using Wellbutrin and that's their method, hey, if there are sites that are geared to that specific medication, I think that's probably the best route for them to go. Most sites will just take anybody who's doing anything. And I think that makes for a murky kind of messaging that these people can get. I will often see people who are at a site where anything goes, that if anybody is a cold turkey quitter and that's what they want to do, but they're having a hard time, that other members will come in and say, oh, you probably should be considered doing this drug then. That'll make it easier. And it's undercutting the people who are going cold turkey. Now, on the same token, there will be times where people will be using a medication and complaining, and cold turkey quitters may come in and say, you're making this much longer and harder, you should do this. It's undercutting their method. When I was working on sites that worked with multiple different methodologies for quitting, I kind of focused on the people who were going cold turkey and sharing the information that I had on that aspect. Sometimes I would weigh in on people who were using other things or who had used other things, and now they're off. They're off smoking. They're off their other medication. And well, my relapse prevention material I think would be good for any of those people. Also, on why people should quit. That material is applicable to anybody, no matter how they plan to quit, or no matter how they had quit. The information of understanding how important it is to quit, well, that's applicable to everybody. But it really gets kind of messy when you have people doing all these different things, and now people are going to come in and say, oh, but this way is going to be better for you. And it's undercutting that's not even what their natural tendency is to do. It's what they've chosen to do. So if you're looking for a site, that is what I would suggest, is find a site that is set up to support the method you're looking to use. If you're looking for a site to decide a method to use, yeah, you can look at those other sites and try to glean from what you can see of who's having the most success in a site, who seems like it's going the smoothest for the people who are doing it one way or people who are doing it another way, and that may help you decide that route. But when it comes time to actually throw yourself into a site, if that's the way you're going to do it, try to find a site that's really going to support what you're trying to do. Uh, the other thing I want to point out is most people who quit smoking don't use sites when it really comes down to it. Sites can be helpful for people. I don't want to minimize that aspect of it, but some people don't feel like they want to get involved in ongoing group kind of dynamic. And hey, that's fine too. The vast majority of people who quit smoking do so without any support site. The vast majority of people who quit smoking do it without any, support from even videos like I'm producing here or materials that I produce. Most people who quit smoking have truly done it on their own and have been successfully able to pull it off. But there are things that can be done to make things easier, and sometimes sites can help in that process for people. Whatever it is, however you choose to quit, however you get off, the main thing to understand is once you quit, and hopefully once you get off whatever, if it's a medication or a replacement, once you get off whatever that is and whatever time period that is, all you need to do to keep that quit, the last quit you'll ever have to do, that will be your last successful method. The way you will be able to make that quit, the one that works, is now by finally making and sticking to a personal commitment to never take another puff.